Hello and welcome to the Football Corner with myself, Bonganoa Dlamini. Today, we are focusing on three different competitions, namely the ABSA Premiership, the English Premier League, as well as the UEFA Champions League. We are getting closer towards the end of the 2017-2018 football season. And today, joining me to discuss all three competitions that I've mentioned, Omunyu Bongan. But not to confuse you, Lo Sizombizu Shenge. Bongs, many thanks.
Thanks for having me, man.
Awesome stuff. Let's not waste any time. Let's start with the ABSA Premiership. It seems like it's going down to the wire. There's 5 teams that can win the title at the moment. It's Mamelodi Sundowns, Kaizer Chiefs, Maritzburg United, Free State Stars, as well as Orlando Pirates. What can we expect towards the end?
Aye, Uzofiwa. It reminds me of a season that we had. I think it was a season of 2004-2005 where Chiefs won it. It will go down to the wire on the last day because when you look at the points difference, it's very tight. You know, Sundowns are sitting at 40
points.
40 points. So the team that is number 2 is just 5 points difference. Now, Mangleli Minekaya, I'm like, you know what? It can change. All it can change, but I still have my money on Sundowns. Yeah.
But speaking of Mamelodi Sundowns, I mean, this is the team before they went to the Christmas break. It seemed like they were running away with it. And then in 2018, they lost their first game of the year away to Polokwane City. And they've dropped points along the way. But do you still feel that they will run away with it? Or someone will peep it at the end?
Look, as I said, I've got my money on Sundowns, but the truth must be told. Ipulukwane, you know, has shown Uguti Sundowns. They struggle against your bottom, your teams that are on the bottom top of the table. So inconsistency has killed Sundowns. You know, you look at the team, the squad. There's vast of talent there, and when you look at their games. The last game they draw. It's because of that guy who pays it down. So that individual performance saves them a lot. They are no longer playing as a team, you know. So that's why I think they've suffered, you know. So no Sundowns. They need to up their socks if they think they can win it. But I still have my money on Sundowns to take it.
All right, we've mentioned 5 teams that have a chance at going at the title. So 3 of them obviously are the big boys, Sundowns, Chiefs, Pirates. And then the other 2, which I think are the surprise package, in Free State Stars as well as Maritzburg United. Credit to Luke Amel as well as Fatu Davids for the fantastic job they're doing at their clubs. But what's interesting is that going to the last games of the season, the 3 big boys, they have pressure, obviously, from the fans and everyone else. And then the other 2, there's not so much pressure. Don't you think that gives them an advantage compared to the other 3?
It doesn't, you know. Pressure, it depends on how you look at it. Pressure is good. Pressure is always good, Bongs, because it gives you a total different reaction. Like you would look at a game whereby a team is under pressure, but they perform. Like Sadlali Bola, you know. I'm just making an example. You'd make a killer pass, you know, because of pressure. The team wins. So it releases that niche in some players. And if you are playing for a big team, the pressure will make you to perform, you know. So I wouldn't think Maritzburg and Free State Stars will do any harm to derail the big three teams in the country for that title, you know. So Maritzburg, Free State Stars, Abaya Vivanje, they're just pushing the pass.
All right, so those are his opinions. Let us know also what you think. Who do you think will walk away with the title at the end of the season? Now, I want us to switch our attention to the bottom half. Well, basically the basement of the table. Platinum Stars are in serious trouble. So is Ajax Cape Town. What is happening at those clubs?
Hey, you know, in fact, let's just start with the people who are going to go out. When Platinum Stars, they are leaving, they are going to NFT. Why am I saying this? The change of ownership. You know, the new board has come in, they come with their own philosophy, you know, new ideas, and they've bought a new manager to run the team. So it affects the players. You know? That is why you see they're having poor results most recently, and I don't think it will change, you know. So for me, Platinum are going, you know.
And then, I mean, still on Platinum Stars, I mean, this is a team that bolstered their squad in the January transfer window. They got the likes of Ayanda Chaba from Orlando Pirates.
Yes.
They got Riyad Norodin, also from Orlando Pirates. Yes. I think they have enough quality in the team to make sure that they survive, as compared to a young Ajax Cape Town team that doesn't have so much experience, especially when it comes to situations like this one. So do you think that, do you still think that with the quality that they have, they still won't be able to save their season?
Yes, Bongs, I think Mushin is the right man. You know the culture of the team. So he will help them to maybe push for the top 8. Yeah, as of for next year, they need to sit down with the board and discuss what's the way forward. Because to my understanding, he was brought in just to help the team because they were going down really, and they're still there. But I think they will make the cut and stay in the league.
Okay, there you have it. He thinks Ajax Cape Town will stay. But just before we wrap up the ABSA Premiership, let's just put your head on the block here. Who wins the title? Who gets relegated?
Sundowns.
Who gets relegation?
Platinum Stars.
There you have it.
And Arrows.
From the man himself. He says Sundowns to win the title, Platinum Stars to be relegated, Arrows to play in the playoffs. Now we switch our attention to the English Premier League. Well, when you look at the English Premier League this season, it's been rather a strange one. Not to take anything away from Manchester City and Pep Guardiola with the fantastic job they've been doing, but why do you think it was like this season? I mean, they're only 6 wins away from winning the title. For all we know, they could win it in March or early April. Why is it like this season?
And then the question is, when you buy a manager like Pep Guardiola, you know, City, they went onto the market and they identified a good manager. Guardiola was sitting very well in Bayern Munich and he had good seasons there and Barcelona. But now when he came to City, his first season he didn't win anything because the league is very tough. You must understand it. It's not a walk in the park in the Barclays Premiership. So he did his planning. He bought very well, you know, in the market. So he made sure that for the first half of the season, he will collect as many points as he can.
Which is exactly what they did.
Yes, you know, because now we saw them being knocked out on the FA. I mean, imagine if he wasn't sitting on the summit of the league and now being knocked out. There will be pressure. But there's not so much pressure on him because he's sitting there and definitely they are taking the league.
Yeah, definitely. I think as far as the English Premier League is concerned, there's no title race this season.
Yes.
There's no title race. But another thing that is interesting as far as the top 6 is concerned is that we still don't know who'll make Champions League spots.
Absolutely. You know, I was sitting at home and I was looking at the log. But I must say, the second team that I think is going to take the second, a team that's going to take the second place, it has to be Liverpool. Liverpool are coming up very good. You know, they're winning with a lot of goals, which we know that's Jurgen Klopp's philosophy to score and play beautiful football. And it has taken a turn. I mean, Man United were number 2 at some point in this season. And by the look of things, I think Man United are going to suffer to even make the cut of the UEFA Champions League.
Wow, that's interesting stuff. But now, just give me your top 4 very quickly.
Top 4?
Yeah.
Let's forget about the champions, the incoming.
Yeah, that's
champions.
already decided.
Number 2, Liverpool. Number 3, Chelsea. Number 4, Tottenham.
So you're saying Arsenal and Manchester City are missing out on the Champions League next season?
That's what I'm saying to you, Mr. Lam.
Wow, interesting stuff there from Mubong. So let us know, who do you think your top 4 will be? I think everyone knows that Manchester City has already won the title. But what about second, third, and fourth? So according to his opinion, Manchester United as well as Arsenal will be going for the Europa League spots. Now let's switch our attention to the bottom half. Teams from 15th to 20th. Any 5 of them, 3 from those 5 are going down. West Brom, in my opinion, are the ones that are the first on that list. Who are the other 2 that are joining West Brom to the championship?
You know, it pains me so much to see a team like Stoke going out. Stoke, they make the league very interesting. I mean, you know, when you have to go to the Bet 365, then you won't come back. You'll be sweating. And some big teams, they go there, they come back with nothing. Because Stoke, they'll really give you a run for your money. So what I saw when they played against most recently with Leicester City away from home, football it doesn't have ngizoyibeka ngesinto alinalo iqiniso. Stoke were all over Leicester City. They performed, but they only got themselves a draw. But Stoke, they are going out. They are really going out because now they changed a manager. He came with his own way of doing things, but I think it was too late.
Still on Stoke, I mean, this is a side that has, over the years, everyone has been saying, let's see if he can do it on a cold Tuesday night at Stoke. But it seems like that factor has sort of worn out as far as Stoke is concerned. I look at their striking department. There's Peter Crouch, there's the Senegalese Diouf, as well as Sadio Berahino. Hasn't scored in 2 years. So obviously, that's where the problem is. Who's getting the goal? If it's not Shaqiri, who's getting the goals for them? They sold Marko Arnautovic to West Ham. That is another quality player that they lost.
That was a bad move. And yeah, they've relied on that guy from Sweden. Shaqiri, you know. Yeah, Shaqiri has been there for them, and you can't rely on your midfielder. You have to. If you've got strikers, your strikers must do their job. So yeah, that's one of their down points of the season. You know, they need to look in the market. Who can they bring on board and strengthen up their striking department?
So far you've given me 2 teams that are going down. Who's the last one?
The last one is Swansea.
Why?
Swansea, I think they had their time in the league. They were promoted, I think, in 2014-2015 season. They came to the league. Now they've stayed 2 years and there's no progress in terms of last season. They were at the same bottom half. They should have been fighting for maybe your Europa. I mean, the team is very talented. They've got talented boys there. I mean, they bought the brother of Ayew, you know. So I think it was a matter of changing managers too late. You know, the outgoing manager, his time was up, so they had to change a manager sooner than later. So they're also going down.
Okay, there you have it. That is the Premier League summed up very nicely by him. He says the champions, Man City, you've got the top 4, and now he said it. He said it's Swansea, West Brom and Stoke who will be playing their football in the championship next season. Let's switch our focus now to the UEFA Champions League. Obviously, we know that the month of January means the return of the Champions League and it's the knockout stages. We've been entertained to some quality football over the past few weeks. Let's talk about Real Madrid and PSG. It's one of those games that people were looking forward to, you know, a very mouth-watering encounter between the two. Madrid are in a pretty position. They won 3-1 at home. But what's funny is that PSG were favorites before the draw. But as soon as they drew Real Madrid, it seemed like they were out of the competition.
Yes. You know, Zinedine Zidane is a great coach. Many people would say, I'm just saying it because he was a great player. But you know, when you've got talented squad, your likes of Ronaldo, Bale, you know, Kroos and all of them, you must understand you are dealing with individuals who are multi-talented. Now you have to try and make them to work as a unit. They were suffering at the early stages of the UEFA Champions League, and in the league, their league is very like their league performance is very bad. So we can forget about that. But on Champions League, that night when they played PSG, a lot of people didn't think they would do what they've done on the night.
It's true.
You know. So for me, there will be a surprise package.
Are they really a surprise package? Because all the time, Madrid are favorites.
Listen, if you perform the way they performed in the group stage, and they look at how you're performing in your league, people were saying even if next season they are being knocked out by PSG now, next season they must kiss the UEFA goodbye because they won't make it. But now, once they turn the corner, that's when it starts. People are like, okay, there's something happening, you know. And Zinedine, they are saying it's going to be sacked. I think it's going to be sacked, but it's going to be unfair on the manager because he's worked himself up on that squad.
But just to touch on Zidane a bit, I mean, obviously he's been under pressure throughout the season because of the way they've been playing in the league, and you mentioned it, the way they've been playing in the group stages of the Champions League. But right now, it seems like they've hit form at the right time. And with that said, obviously they're still favorites as far as the Champions League is concerned. My next question to you will be, do you think if he wins it for the third time in the row, do you think that will save his job?
My opinion, they should keep him. But knowing Florent is very ambitious, and I'm sure he has lined up someone to replace him. So I think they will sack Zidane, which is unfair. But yeah, from my opinion, they should have keep him for as many years as they can.
Yeah, and then let's talk about the English teams. There's 5 of them. They're all through to the knockout stages. Manchester City as well as Liverpool are in good positions to make it to the quarterfinals, obviously winning 4 and 5-0 respectively. But what about the other 3, which is Man United, Chelsea, as well as Tottenham Hotspurs? Do you feel that this is the season where finally English teams make a mark in Europe?
Yeah, no. In that one, I think this is the year, because now when you look from the previous seasons, it's either 2 teams have been knocked out and 2 teams are staying for the last 16. So now they've got 5. No, they really have a chance, you know. So I'm looking at an all-English team final, and I'm also thinking that an English team can take the cup this season.
Who are the favorites as far as England is concerned to win the Champions League?
Liverpool. Can I name 2?
Yeah.
Liverpool and Manchester City.
Do you think Liverpool have enough quality to go on and defy the odds and win the Champions League? Obviously, it will be for the first time since 2005, after that night in Istanbul in Turkey. But considering what you've seen in the Premier League, I know that UEFA Champions League is a completely different ball, but we've seen that they have a problem as far as their consistency is concerned.
Yes.
Do you think they have, especially at the back, no doubt about their front players, they're world class, but at the back, is it enough to see them win the Champions League?
No, it is enough. It is enough because, you know, I'm sure by now Klopp has found the right defenders to put there at the back. They've bought this world-class defender, Van Dijk. So with him there to marshal the defense, you know, and we are talking about champions, different champions from different leagues now. These people, when they come to you, they will come with, like, let's say they are playing with never mind, because they are going through. I know they are going through against Basel, Porto. Yes. Maybe their next game will be against a team like your Real Madrid. You know, they have a match with them. I mean, attacking players, they do have midfield. They can win games in the midfield. Defense-wise, they are strong. I've got a question with the goalkeeper department, but no doubt, I think Liverpool can show the world that they're still there. They can be counted.
Wow, what a statement he just made. Liverpool fans, I'm sure you'll be happy to hear this, that for the first time since 2005, you are counted as one of the favorites to win the Champions League. A quick one just before we wrap up. Chelsea, Barcelona, that one is locked at 1-1. Man United, Sevilla, locked at 0-0. Juve and Spurs, locked at 2-2. As far as the English teams are concerned, out of the 3, who's likely to go through?
Tottenham. Tottenham will give Juve a run for their money. I mean, you saw the Juve were leading 2-0. They were behind by 2-0. You know, and they came back, they showed character. Yeah. You know, and that's what you expect. I mean, if you've got a manager like Pochettino, you know, I'm sure he said something to those players, and we saw a totally complete team in the second half of the game. And then when I look at Mourinho's team, I don't think maybe this is the last time we see Mourinho being a manager of a top club. You know, once he fails at Man United, believe you me, it's finished. Maybe he would go for being a coach for a national team. But as of for being a manager at league, club level, No. This is goodbye for Mourinho. And then I think Chelsea would advance. They definitely going to advance. Yeah, so yeah, for me it's Tottenham and Chelsea.
Wow, this guy made some massive predictions. Well, he said that Mourinho, this is probably his last season at Man United. Do consider that he just renewed his contract at the club. I feel like it's going to be the same thing that happened at Chelsea. Just after renewing his contract, then he'll be sacked. But we don't know. Only the future will let us know. Bonks, many thanks, man. Well, there you have it. He's made some massive predictions as far as the end of the season is concerned. Feel free as well to agree with him or disagree with him on the comments below. Also feel free to like our page as well as subscribe. But from myself, Ubongano Wadlamini, as well as Ubongano Wabtelezi, until next time, goodbye.